Hello and welcome to the channel, everybody. It's the Eradicator, and today we are having a little video here on the monthly report for October 2020. We will be checking the report of what was done over the last month, and I am with the community today. I will try to do more live streams because I don't know if this is something that I'll make a video about, but I put a post in the community tab. Basically, YouTube is screwing me over, and I owe YouTube some money. That's right. They don't owe me money for the ads. I owe them some money, apparently. So I will try to do pretty much all of my videos I'll try to make as much live streams as possible because I still can interact with you, and I am not doing all of those videos for nothing. So we'll be doing that until the situation is fixed. This video is brought to you by the people who support this channel on Patreon and via the join button as well. Supporters of the channel get access to lots of cool perks such as access to my private Discord, your question answered in the show, you get to know when I'm going to play, and also you get to have a chance to influence the editorial line of the channel. Any help is appreciated, starts at just $1 a month. Thank you very much for watching. This is the Eradicator, and I'll see you guys later. Dalton Carpenter says, I need a change election and got the air energized so much. Yeah, well, we have elections in Star Citizen too, Dean Carpenter. We also have elections there, and Ghost Soldiers is also saying hi as well. So let's see what's happening here. October was a busy month for Star Citizen's BU's teams with Halloween content and prep for the upcoming IAE in-game event on most to-do lists. As usual, long-term development tasks continue the earnest with features, weapons, armor, and locations all making great progress. So they say. Read on for the reads, including updates on exciting additions arriving for Star Citizen Alpha 3.12 and beyond. Well, we shall read that. Of course, we shall be aware of what is going on here. First, we have a nice little picture here of what looks to be probably the cargo decks. I don't know what you guys think, but this seems to me like this is the cargo decks, and those not cargo decks, the refinery decks. What am I saying here? The refinery decks, and yeah, those I definitely wouldn't want to fall into one of those molten pits here. They kind of look like, if you guys remember Attack of the Clones, Star Wars Episode 2, where you have Anakin, Padme, and the droids all falling into those. That's what they look like. And I really wonder also what the temperature is going to be inside those refinery decks, because that is certainly going to make it a little bit warmer. Most default temperatures indoors in Star Citizen right now is about 21.5 degrees, right? I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I mean, it can be 21.5 degrees with all of those molten pits here and refinery activity going on there. So we will see if maybe we are going to need special suits that are going to keep us cool in there, or maybe if we wear too much clothes or armor, our temperature is also going to rise. That could be an interesting mechanic as well. Anyway, let's have a look here at AI character combat. Dave Fandom says the DS2 of Metal Gear Solid 1, where you enter where you enter the underground base with the lava. Okay, I have never played Metal Gear Solid Dawn Phantom. I'm sorry about this. Anyway, so with the start of the character combat team, we start with the character combat team who completed the first pass of the surrender behavior mentioned last month, which is not in the roadmap anymore, by the way. During their regular combat behavior, NPCs will try to find lootable ammo boxes and in the future request help from friendlies and loot available weapons. If no options are available, they'll try to stay out of dangerous environments and survive the best they can, including eventually surrendering. Interesting. Well, we're still far from there, unfortunately. The team began implementing support for character traits. First, this functionality exposes the ability of selected traits of the character skills and traits editor. Designers can then assign traits to templates that are assigned to characters. These traits can be used to either modify or enable specific behaviors available to certain characters. For example, a coward NPC won't try to pressure on the player. It will be interesting. Yes, guys, please, no more politics, guys. I will have to temporarily ban you if you guys mention politics, because this is going to be this is going to go out of control. Anyway, so yes, so interesting that we are going to have coward NPCs. How are coward NPCs? Because right now, I don't know if you guys play Star Wars Star Citizen a lot, but especially I don't know if you guys play the FPS missions a lot. But pretty much all the NPCs are coward right now. If you go to SPK, you are going to shoot around. They're going to see that their friends are dying, and then they will spend their entire time hiding behind boxes. So I think that is the set. That is the mindset NPCs are designed for right now. All of the NPCs so far in Star Citizen have this coward mode. I hope that we're going to have more traits because it gets a little bit boring, if you see what I mean. AI General. Last month, the AI team found and fixed more issues related to characters standing on top of you. That's a meme, guys. That's a meme. Every month we got the we find and fix more issues related to characters standing on top of usables, but it's still happening right now. Yeah, they're just dumb. Yeah, the AI is so dumb that they keep on standing on top of usables, including chairs and tables. This time, let's see what this time the problem was. This time the problem was specific to characters streaming in before their usables. Code was added to handle this particular edge case. Some of the recent AI components updates were also amended with stricter dependency rules to avoid conflicting reading with writing inside the zone system. This prevents contention when reading entry positions. I have no idea when this is going to be fixed, but I don't know. It's a meme, you know. When I don't know what you guys think, but when I get into the verse, I don't get to drink coffee at the same time because I'm very thirsty. When I'm getting into the verse, and I see NPCs standing on chairs and standing on table online. This is home. See what I mean, right? And that's my Star Citizen. It's going to feel less like Star Citizen when all these NPCs. It's going to feel weird, you know, when all the NPCs are going to work properly. I'm afraid that we're still far off, but you know, we're getting an update on this, and you know, why not? Let's have a look at Ship AI. Ship AI needs a lot of work as well. I've done a lot of combat missions in Star Citizen 3.11, and very often, especially the bigger ships like the Constellations, for example, don't shoot at all. They're just flying around. They're flying around. They're dogfighting, but they're not shooting. And let's see here if they figure out if this was an actual problem and if there is a fix to that. So, Ship AI began October by extending the quantum travel substation task to be non-blocking. This will be used in specific scenarios where a behavior needs to cue quantum traveling for a ship and then continue with regular duty. This is particularly useful in multi-crew ship. Whoa, AI is going to quantum travel? Well, eventually they are, right? We're going to have some systems. So this is what they worked on. Okay, interesting. They're probably preparing for future long-term implementation of quantum, right? The team continued to iterate on missile targeting, first of all ensuring turrets respond immediately to incoming hostile torpedoes, which is what we've seen in the roadmap update for Star Citizen 3.12, when not in combat mode. Then they just adjusted targeting priorities to give a better balance when capital ships are fighting multiple targets, which is the purpose of a capital ship, right? Is not to fight just this one single starfighter, but multiple starfighters at the same time, especially anti-starfighter capital ships. This will also improve how SID operators handle burst fire when controlling ship weapons. Time was also spent improving how collision avoidance handles missiles, with the team filtering out missiles in the code due to not being part of collision avoidance. Of course not, right? When you avoid collision, you should be avoiding big ships, not a missile. The point of a missile is to collide with a ship. For the accuracy calculation, the team implemented different conversion speeds towards target when an AI is hitting or missing the target. This simulates NPCs trying to hit a target faster when they are missing, but relaxing slightly when they are on target. The capital ship combat behavior was also improved to allow longer range combat. NPCs will now react to an enemy, starting to change a weapon too. Okay, very nice. So if they see if the NPC sees that you are changing weapon, because changing weapon does take time. Hello, Gemma Gamer. changing weapon takes time. You have to stow it and then take another one. When you are busy, putting that weapon back and taking that other weapon, you are not shooting. The NPC should be able to see that, say, aha, that player over there is vulnerable. They're not going to shoot me because they're changing weapons. Maybe you have to load your weapon at the same time, right? So that is an opportunity for an NPC or any other player, by the way, to shoot you down. And it's great that the NPCs here are going to be able to figure this out and take advantage of that. Plus, several bugs we fixed and improvements were made to breakaway movement requests and patrol run position assignment and the hostility of special targets. All right, well, very right. Let's move on to social AI, because we need to have improvements on our bartenders. The bartenders not working so well, especially if you go to the rest stops. Sometimes you got the bartenders standing like this in the middle of nowhere. Like they're in the middle of the bar. They're not at the actual bar, like they're in the middle of the empty area between the bar and where you have the bottle, and they're just standing like this. That's not how they're supposed to work. Also, we're gonna have to get that bartender technology up and running for actual shopkeepers, for admins as well, or places. In the past, we used to be able to give boxes to shopkeepers, or at least staff in stations. Why can't we do that anymore, right? They are mingling, says Jake. Yeah, probably. So last month, the social AI team moved the first version of the mess hall scenario into a state that allows other teams to better iterate on animation, props, and the technical setup. At the moment, the scenario supports usables that provide cutlery, food, and drinks. Okay, NPCs can iterate on food lines, retrieve anything their substances behavior wants, and then take the food to tables where it can be consumed. Oh, wow. This involves both systemic animations and mocap created for specific scenarios. Maybe they'll be able to carry plates or drinks to their tables. All of these usables are item providers, which means NPCs can search to obtain specific objects. These objects are physically used by the AI, so consuming food and drink impacts the NPC status system. This also expands the use of grip tags in the take, prepare, and place use channels. Okay, so that's probably, eventually we're going to see NPCs also eat at the rest stops or at restaurants and bars in the verse, but this is probably going to be very useful in Squadron 42 as well, because we do know that the mess in the Idris, in the Javelin, and in the big capital ships in general are going to be extremely important places where we are going to get to interact with those AIs in Squadron 42 as well. Demonstrating to the empty bar how to do social distancing, says Mark Jensen. We need to be able to talk to shopkeepers and see them move and go pick up stuff. For example, in the back. Yes, Captain. This used to be the case in the back, but that was a long time ago. Little progress, right? Says Alexander Snishal. Little progress, indeed. The team are currently also working on several behaviors that will benefit both the PU and Squadron 42, including arcade machine use and dancing. Whoa, okay. Finally, all these we have those arcade machines in pretty much everywhere in the verse, in those bars. They are finally going to work. Apparently, they're working on them. All right, playing arcade machines will be one of the available leisure activities, while dancing will likely be a special activities for the patrons of discos and other appropriate areas, of course. Well, I have already, I don't know if you saw I've made a video early this year about dancing at New Babbage. And you can, you have to use your fingers, right? But currently you have the animation, not really the animation, but if you move your character properly, you can actually do some really interesting dance moves at the club at Wally's Bar. But obviously it would be better if we have actual dancing. It's not really important, right? Animation, especially for the PU, the team made well progress for mission giver posing and complete the facial animations for emotes, bounty hunters, general outlaws, and more. They also supported other teams' mocap and continue work for backlog animation tasks. All right, let's move out to art and environment. October saw modular team wrap up the work for refinery decks, including finalizing the art and putting the finishing touches for dressing and world building. The decks now having handed over to audio, lighting, and VFX team for final polish, and they do look quite exciting. We've seen this picture already at the very beginning of this stream. Elsewhere, because here we're going to talk about Horizon, we're going to talk about Pyro as well, because that's also what we want. So elsewhere, the modular team continue adding gas clouds to Lagrange points, which is also coming up in Star Citizen Alpha 3.12, guys, because we are going to have spacescaping. Spacescaping is basically going to have those Lagrange points looking much nicer than they currently are. Right now, they just look like empty asteroid fields, which is probably closer to how they really look like if you were going to an actual Lagrange point right now. But from a gaming point of view, it's not as interesting as if you were putting some nice nebulae, which is something that Chris Roberts is very keen on. So that's what we're going to have in Star Citizen 3.12. They've been working on that, and that's what we're doing. All right, what do we have? I think I have a follow on Twitch, which is cool. All right. These are really benefiting for the first Lightning Pass with some absolutely gorgeous final frames being produced. The team have been working hard with graphics to ensure the cloud remained performant enough to use multiplayer environment in the PU. The team also began final art on ship-to-station docking. Final art! On the ship-to-station docking lobby and exterior. Alright, so pre-production is also on the work for the brand new Colonialism ground-based archetypes. Oh, are we going to have new styles for ground bases in Pyro, perhaps? That's interesting. The landing zone team continued Horizon with the gray box and industrial platform making great progress. The commercial platform art gray box is also complete, with some areas being brought to final art to act as benchmark for the rest of the location. The transit barge. Look at that. This is what we're gonna know here. In Horizon, we're not gonna have a train. We're gonna have a barge. Is nearing. So how is that? Is it going to be a bit like what we see in Star Wars Episode 1 on Coruscant, where you just, like it's an open barge in air and there's like no roof, you just fly from one place to another? That would be quite breathtaking. If there's nothing above you, you can see all the skies and the clouds. I don't know if it's going to rain. Is there going to be weather effects on Crusader? I don't know. The transit barge is nearing art complete and has been fully implemented into the level, with several currently moving between the platforms. The spaceport also moved into final art. Alongside Horizon, the art prototype for the hacking features what do we mean? The art prototype for the hacking features had its first pass and is awaiting implementation and iteration. What do you mean hacking features? Work on the convention space for this year's AIA was also completed. New informational screens were placed in landing zones to time the upcoming event, and existing screens were updated to be more dynamic. Yeah, right. That would be really great if there was absolutely nothing on top of that. Just look at all the clouds above us without any interference. Yeah, that would be quite breathtaking for sure. In Frankfurt, the Organics team finalized art for Paro's celestial bodies through another round of polish and will be undertaken before release. More work on Crusader was done alongside tech changes for gas giants, which will also benefit regular planets. Time was also spent prototyping touch blending for foliage and other buoyancy for floating tests on planetary water bodies. Wait, I thought that this was already done in Star Citizen Alpha 3.11. If you remember that weird roadmap padding that we had, which was said that we were supposed to have object buoyancy and floating assets. What do you mean time was spent prototyping this? It's supposed to be here already, right? Flying whales might mean flying fish in the open topped beige. Yeah, we never. I think that the flying whales will be below, not above us, Mark Jensen, because yeah, animals do reject stuff. I would not imagine I would not imagine that people would enjoy being peed on, if you see what I mean, right? By those flying whales. Or probably the whales will be below us and will not be able to fly where we are at the altitude we'll be at on Horizon. That's what I think. Now that's interesting here. The Organics team finalized art for Paro's celestial bodies, which means that all of Paro's celestial bodies are now done, without Paro 5, which is the gas giant, but including Paro 6, which is the little planet around which Rune Stations orbits. So this again proves that when Paro is going to be released, when we finally have server meshing, all of Pyro will be coming along. And who knows, because if we have Crusader done when we have server meshing, maybe that will also include Pyro 5 as well, because here they're also talking about some of the work that they're doing on Gas Giants. So see, more work on Crusader was done alongside tech change for Gas Giants that will also include Pyro 5 as well. Look at that, guys. There's the Mercury Star Runner. The thing I hate about Lawville is how dirty the terrain are and how you can appreciate the outside due to those dirty windows. Yeah, but that's the point, Captain. That's the whole point. Lawville is a dirty place, so the terrain has to be dirty, right? Lawville is not a place that you're supposed to appreciate, Captain, unless you are Mr. Hurston. You're supposed to be appreciative more of a place like New Babbage, for example. But not necessarily Lawville. Anyway, in the UK, let's talk about ships now. In the UK, the art team continued with the Crusader Hercules. October's work including further development of the engineering section, the bridge, and both of which are approaching the end of their final art phases. People are saying we're going to see the Crusader Hercules in 3.11, 3.12. I don't think so. I think that it is going to come in 3.13, or at least at the same time as Crusader. Exterior-wise, the materials were polished, and the landing gear is now final art complete, which is going to be huge, guys. Those ships are, I mean, the Hercules line is a huge ship. They need to really make sure that those landing gears are working properly. The iridescent shader created for the Spear talent is now ready for implementation. Nice, because that is going to be quite unique to the talent indeed. As is Shrike's internal missile system, the landing gear and the damage setup are also finalized. So we should expect to see some interesting progress done for the talent on Friday's roadmap update. The US team progressed with the Crusader Mercury Star Runner, including finishing levels of details, UI panels, cargo areas, the cockpit. In celebration of In-Lore Holiday of the Dvara, the ship team also created the ghoulish green screen for the Cutlass Green. I have seen that skin in the verse, and it looks quite phenomenal. And I almost got that skin for my Cutlass Black. Let's have a look here at the Mercury Star Runner. That is how it's going to look like from behind. These are the engines here, looking quite true to the original concept. Very nice. I was hoping that the Mercury Star would be a little bit more white and less gray, but that's just my own personal preference, of course. There's another picture here of the Mercury Star Runner that doesn't want to load. What is wrong with you? Let's maybe if we open in a new tab, it's going to work a little bit better. There we go. Right. Again, the Star Runner here looking like the engines or some type of component here. Look at all those details with that ship. That is just amazing, guys. Really amazing. The vehicle tech art team focused on supported the Mercury with hardpoints, pivots, landing gear, V's areas, and damage states. Work was also done on the Origin 100 series landing gear, and small updates were made to the Cutlass models, due, for example, for the latest skins, right? For the latest skins. Okay, good. Let's move on to art and weapons. Oops. In October, Weapon Art completed the first pass on the medical gun, which is going to come along with medical gameplay. I think, if I remember, did they say Q2 2021 for medical guns? LODO, what is LODO? LODO are for the upcoming Bearing light machine gun and a new Gemini Star sniper rifle. Yeah, it's Gemini, it's not Bearing. The latest Bearing S10 turrets was also finalized too. The team are nearing the end of their pass for weapon reticles, which will add zeroing and range firing along with various art tweaks. Art for the multi-tools tractor beam attachment was also completed as new set of Class and Werner holographic sights. Yes, very important here, that sniper rifle and especially zeroing. You know, I think I was Salty Mike who said that until recently you could not shoot at someone further away than 200 meters. With the new upcoming, actually right now, I think the limit is 1.7 kilometers, and you should be able to even shoot at people from even longer distances with some of those sniper rifles, and zeroing is definitely going to help you doing that. Audio. Last month, so audio focused on the Mercury, of course, right? Such a large ship with so many moving parts requires all of our sound designers working on it at once, says the audio team. Very good. Next, let's look at the backend services, because that is also important. Star Citizen has a lot of backend issues. Backend services spent part of October identifying and addressing issues in the recent patch release, including correcting primary hub crashes. Some low-level backend network code were also cleaned up, which improves stability and will contribute to having more concurrent players online. Bugs in the various loadouts, inventory, and mobi-glass were also fixed too. I don't know about you guys, but I have played Star Citizen quite a lot. I've even streamed quite a lot, and I've only encountered, now I'm counting how many 30Ks I've had in 3.11 so far. And I would say that I played about 50 hours of 3.11 in this patch, and I've only had, in 50 hours, I've only had 5 30Ks. So that means that I've been able, on average, to play for 10 hours until the next 30K, which is much better than how it was in Star Citizen 3.9. Unfortunately, every time I had the 30K, that's when I was trading, so I've actually lost money in 3.11. I started the patch at 3.6 million, if you see I'm now at 3.2, so yeah, that's not great. Characters, look at that! What do we have here? We have some Star Citizen Grey Cat front back, all of you. It looks like we are going to have, yeah, a Grey Cat armor. Very nice. Very nice Grey Cat armor here for mining. This is obviously the Grey Cat multi-tool. So looks like mining is once again going to get a little bit of love here from CIG. The character team began working with new AI team on creatures. Yes, we began working with creatures finally. Hopefully we're going to have those creatures on the Pyro system when it's going to come, because it's not going to come anytime soon. We need to have, as I repeat, I know I'm repeating myself, but the Pyro system is going to come when we are going to have server meshing, which is probably going to be by the end of 2021. So they still have plenty of time to develop new features at the same time that may come at the same time as Pyro, including those Pyro crabs that we saw a while back. This involved creating quick blockouts for check scale, assess model issues, test rigs, and iterate on IDs. Mark says, Greycon Industrial Armor, that is a pretty badass armor set for a mining suit. The helmet alone could be of a concern to an attacking pirate. Yes, well, of course, miners are targets for pirates. You know, it's very easy for a pirate to just follow a miner, wait for the miner to fill their rucksack with lots of minerals, and then say, hey, you know, I'm going to kill you unless you give me some of those minerals. And you know, once we have iCache, it will be possible to loot people. So it will just be possible to actually kill people, take whatever they have, and then take the loot away. So miners are going to need extra protection. That totally makes sense. Yes. The team modelers and tech artists worked on 2 new armor sets targeting for 2021 and subscriber fly items planned for release with Alpha 3.11.1 and 3.12. They also addressed issues with some of the recently released vintage Navy uniform. Those fixes will be live coming in 3.11.1 patch. It looks like the backpack is detachable. It should be detachable indeed. You're right, Captain. I didn't notice that, but yes, it definitely looks like it is detachable. Look at that. There's the actual right for it. Now, it's funny they're mentioning the Navy uniform bugs in 3.11 because I had a live stream yesterday on Twitch, and one of my buddies here, Captain Gruffus, did come during the live stream. He came to say hello. He had his uniform, and he had a top hat at the same time. And the top hat was so stretched up, it looked absolutely ridiculous. You guys should check it out. He actually made a clip. You know what? Let's go to Twitch. Let's go to Twitch. Let's have a look at that clip here because that was so funny, and we're going to check it out together. This bug that happened during the live stream. I don't want to hear you. Let's have a look at the clip here. There we go. The bugged hat here.
What is going on here?
Look at this.
What is going on? Oh, you should see yourself.
That was so funny.
What is this bug?
1 second.
What is this? So that's one of the bugs that currently happening right now in 3.11 with those uniforms, uniforms, you know, those Navy uniforms. So crazy. Anyway, let's move on here. Communities. I don't really care about the community. I mean, I care about my community, but what they're saying with the community is not so important, right? Yeah, we got the gun here for $3 million, and the goodie bag. Yeah, man, right. This is more interesting. Let's look at this. I'm not going to talk about everything Gen 12, man. But let's have a look more of, for example, this. Progress on atmospheres, clouds, and unified ray marcher was also merged into the main development stream. This means the improvement mentioned in last month's report should be available in a coming release. We need to have extra atmosphere right now. Atmosphere, even in the plans that we have, are pretty much fake, right? It's just like a line that you cross. So when you're above that line, you see some clouds, and when you are below that line, oh, you see the clouds above you now, but you don't actually get to go through the clouds. And this is what we need in the atmospheres of all of our planets. Hopefully this is going to come when we have the gas giants that are also going to benefit the other planets, but they need to work on those as well. Feature here, let's have a look at this. The US gameplay feature team began the month fixing critical bugs and polishing features in 3.11. After it went live, they turned their attention back to working on upcoming features and future initiatives, including the new reputation system. Yes, we need to have new reputation system, especially we need to have, like in Freelancer, for example. In Freelancer, reputation was very clear. You knew exactly how much each faction liked you or disliked you. You had like a percentage, right? We need to have that in Star Citizen as well, and I hope that this is what this new reputation system is going to be. The system will receive continuous polish as it gets closer to release. This way it can be rolled out in a limited capacity as current gameplay is converted to take advantage of this new functionality. Good. Here we have two new core Moby Glass apps. First is the Asset Manager, which carries on from the trading app and will be critical to the localized inventory planned for release next year. Second is the Mission Manager, which will tie into the dynamic mission system currently being worked on. Okay, so the Mission Manager will be linked to Conta, which definitely makes sense. Let's see, we also know about missiles and we don't really care about this. Let's have a look next at some work went toward displaying ship names and serial numbers on the sides of ships. Did you see that, guys? That is very important because this is something that was introduced with the sale of the Drake Corsair. If you remember, if you backed the Drake Corsair when it went on sale, you were able to also reserve one particular name, and here work has started to finally have the name of your ship on your ship as well as the serial number, which is going to add a nice little touch, unique customization, and also more realism as well. I cannot wait to be able to see people choosing their own names. I will personally choose Brighton names on my ships. That's what I did in Elite Dangerous. In Elite Dangerous, you also have the serial numbers. You also have the ship names located on the ships themselves. And each of my ships in Elite Dangerous were named either after Brighton cities or after Brighton legends. And I will be doing the same in Star Citizen as well. Continuing with last month Merlin Constellation work, UI to 8 docking was completed. Oh, various issues related to persistence were also resolved, enabling the Merlin and Constellation to spawn as a pair. And it's already the case, guys. If you notice, when you are fighting AI constellations, you can see the Merlin at the bottom of the constellation. It's already the case. The team are now working through more minor tasks, such as in push to call feature, whatever, right? Graphics, lighting, narrative, player relation, props. Let's see what they have in props here. The prop continue to work on trolley for the trolley push pull feature, and the bartenders alongside social AI, they complete a few props for Horizon and modular refinery locations. Okay, well, whatever. Turbulent, we already know. This here, all right, pretty much all of that here is fluff that is not very juicy. What is juicy, however, is the Squadron 42 monthly report that we're going to talk about as well. A lot of that monthly report is a copycat of what is in the PU monthly report, but this is what I wanted to show you guys. Vandal, this is the very first time that we are seeing Vandal in engine, in action, and you really want to see that. If you don't have access to the Squadron 42 monthly report in your mailbox, you want to check this out as well, because this is how Vandals are going to attack. Look at the size of that thing. That is insane. That is insane. Let's have a look again, guys. I'll try to make a slow motion first. Look at how massive those vandals are and how menacing. Look, the spikes everywhere, right? When you have that thing running toward you, you want to shoot. You don't want to have a knock-like pistol. You want to have an F-55, not a knock-like pistol. Look at that. Look at that. You shoot. Although he failed, you shoot at this thing. It keeps rushing towards you. It has this melee weapon here. Oh, that is trying to just stab you from top. You have to, of course, avoid it. When you avoid it, it is still stuck in the ground, and it's probably when you have to shoot it, right, when it is busy doing its own animation. That is insane. Boom! Wow! And it's slashing at the same time. That is really well done. I can't get enough. I want to see it over and over and over again. That is insane. Look at that. Is it kicking at the same? I think that it kicked at the same time. Let's have a look. Let's have it one more time. I think, yeah, it does kick. It does kick. Can we go back? Yes, here. Let's have yes. See the foot here. The foot is on top. It is actually it is actually using its own feet to kick you as well. Wow. Wow, that is insane. That is insane. And it's going to be, I think that it's going to feel very rewarding to kill those things in the verse. Yep. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. And pretty much everything else is the same as in the PU, right? So if you want to check out, if you want to check this out, you really want to get to the Squadron 42 monthly report. All right, guys. Well, that's all for this monthly report. I hope that you enjoyed this little live stream with the community here. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.